Sawete Diskipuli. I've been answering a lot of questions and reading a lot of messages from you about the Chapter 5, Lesson 1 and 2 summative assessment. Most of you are concerned about the due date, so let's not worry about the due date. I have moved the due date to Friday, so you don't have to worry about it being late and then getting really stressed out about not understanding what to do. Because I think that's been a problem for a lot of you. Making sure that you understand what to do and then feeling like you don't and getting all stressed out because of a due date. So the due date is now Friday. Let's focus on understanding what you have to do. What I want to focus on first is the Chapter 5, Lesson 2 practice assignment with these Quizlet flashcards, where you had to look at a noun and you had to determine what cases that noun was written in. This is all about understanding how to use your noun chart. So let me get the noun chart in front of us, which is right here. If I use the noun chart, like most of us tend to do when we first start, we look at the noun chart and all we do is we look for the letters UM on the noun chart. And I see UM in the accusative singular, and I see the letter UM in the nominative singular. If it's nominative singular, then it's also SAN, same as the nominative, so vocative singular. And I also see UM down here at the genitive plural, so I write genitive plural. And now I click answer because I have all of the UMs written right here on my answer line. But I'm wrong. The only one that's correct is genitive plural. Why is that the only one that's correct? Well, that's because we're using the noun chart the wrong way. We're not supposed to be looking at every ending on the noun chart. We're supposed to be looking at one column of endings. How do I know which column to look at? Well, remember the columns on the noun chart are about what declension, right? What declension the noun belongs to. Does the noun belong to first declension, second declension, masculine, second declension, neuter? Does it belong to third declension, masculine and feminine, or does it belong to third declension, neuter? To know that information, I have to go to the vocabulary list. So that's right here. Regum is from rex regis. Regis, when I look at the genitive form, it tells me it ends with is. That means it's from third declension. The M tells me that it's third declension masculine. So when I look at the noun chart, I'm only going to be looking at this column, the third declension masculine column, to find the ending for regum. And sure enough, UM is genitive plural, and that's why genitive plural is the only correct answer. Here's corpus. Look, I see US right here. So I'm going to write nominative singular, and I don't see it anywhere else on the chart. So like phooey, I don't have to look and see what declension it belongs to because US occurs only one place on the chart, nominative singular. Oh, wait, if it's nominative singular, then it also has to be vocative singular. Okay, now I know I'm right. Wait, I'm wrong. Accusative singular. There is no US in accusative singular. How can that be right? You see, I looked at the whole chart. I didn't look at a specific column. I must look at a specific column. To know which column, I have to go to the vocabulary list and determine the declension and gender of the noun. The IS on the genitive form of corpus tells me it belongs to third declension, and the N tells me that it's third declension neuter, so I can only look at this column. I also notice when I look at the vocabulary list that corpus is the nominative singular, which means it will be the vocative singular. But when I look at the third declension neuter column, I notice that the accusative singular says SAN, same as the nominative, and that's why I needed to add accusative singular to my answer. It is important that before you use the chart, you know which column to look at, and that means you have to know what declension and gender the noun is from. Matres. I'm going to play it smart this time, and I'm going to discover the declension and gender of my noun. The IS tells me it's third declension, and the F says feminine. So third declension feminine, ES. Nominative plural, ES. Accusative plural. I see same as the nominative, so that would be ES. So also vocative plural. So I have nominative plural, accusative plural, vocative plural. I am correct. Regibus. The ending I'm looking at is ibus. The noun I'm looking at is rex regis, which is third declension because of the IS and masculine. When I go to the third declension masculine column, I see ibus in two places, dative plural and ablative plural. So that's my ending, and I'm correct. Do you notice how every time I first make sure I know what column to look in, I get the right answers? So Regina, the first thing I want to do is not go to the chart. I want to go to the vocabulary list and look at the declension and gender of the noun. Regina, reginae is a first declension noun, and they're feminine. So I can only look in this column for answers. It ends with A, nominative singular, ablative singular, and then same as the nominative, so that would be an A again, is vocative singular. So I said nominative singular, ablative singular, and vocative singular. And I have everything correct. So to get the answers correct on the flashcards, I need to look at the vocabulary list first to make sure I know what declension and gender the noun is. Once I know the declension and gender of the noun, then I can go back to the chart and find that specific column and find the ending in that column, and that's where I will get my answers. So that's how you complete the flashcards. Now what about the assignment that you have to do? Well, the summative assessment is asking you to basically do exactly the same thing that you're doing with the flashcards, except I'm not giving you the specific nouns. I'm asking you to pick the nouns that you want to use from these columns. Here is an example of 5 nouns that I picked, and I just picked them at random. You could take one row, like I could go down here and I could pick this row, Cavernae, Ani, Bello, Awis, Ducus, and Carmen. And I could use that row. I can just pick from wherever. I could do Cavernas and Auxilio and Agrum, and then I could come down here and pick Awibus. I don't know why, because I like the look of them. Then I have to be able to explain what case is that noun in. And adding one more thing, I have to be able to talk about what does it do in a sentence. So if I say that it's in the accusative case, then I have to know that accusative is a direct object or an object of a preposition. But I can't get that answer right until I know the declension and the gender of the noun, because I can't look at my noun chart until I know what specific column to look at. And the only way I know which specific column to look at is by knowing the declension and gender of the noun. So when you make your video, I'm asking you to explain how you know what declension and what gender the noun belongs to. So if I were to pick the noun aquas, and it comes from aqua aquae, I would tell you that this noun belongs to first declension, and I know that because of the AE. So when I go to determine its case, I have to look at the first declension endings. And I see that AS is accusative plural, and that means that that noun, aquas, can be the direct object or an object of a preposition when it's in a sentence. That's a very quick explanation about how to do the flashcards that are associated with Chapter 5, Lesson 2, and how to put together the project that goes along with Lesson 1 and Lesson 2, the summative assessment. When you do your summative assessment, you must put it in a video format, and I'm asking you to use very specific video formats. So let me come up here. I want you to use Adobe Spark. Some of you have used that before. Doceri, which is a whiteboard app. You can have access to that on your iPad. That's what I did my sample video with. You can use VoiceThread if you know how to do that. If you don't, then don't use VoiceThread. You can use Keynote and add voice to that and then turn it into a movie. If you don't know how to do that, then don't do that. You can also, as many of you know how to do, make a slide, put the slide in iMovie, and then add your voices to that. If that's what you know how to do, then do that. What do you put on the slides? Well, that's why I have the sample video here. This is like a noun that I picked from the list. This is what it looks like when it's on the vocabulary list. And I explain what declension it belongs to, and then how I know what case it's in, and then what it does when it's in a sentence. So those are the things that you need to do for the project. You should now have a better understanding of how to do the flashcards that go with Chapter 5, Lesson 2, and how to make the project. Remember that I've taken away the due date of today or even Thursday, and I've made the due date Friday because I'm more concerned that you understand what it is that you have to do, that you do that properly, and that you understand the material and put together your video. I have every confidence that you can all understand what it is that we are talking about and can make sense of it. You have to help each other when I'm not there. Some of you are going to have a better understanding of it than others. So talk to each other and help each other get everything done correctly. I'll see you on Monday. Good luck.